I welcome you all for this video lecture on Unit 1 Inner Transition Elements of General Chemistry 3 paper in the BSc Chemistry course at Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute. This is the continuation of the earlier videos, part 2A of actinides. In this video lecture, we will be dealing with properties and contraction of actinides. Starting from the electronic configuration of actinides, we can see that by the atomic number increases, the electrons in the 5f also increases. Starting from actinium to lawrencium, the atomic number increases by 1 at each step. When we look onto the electronic configuration of this actinide series, we see that from protactinium, it starts with 5f2 and increases 1 by each state. When we see americium and curium, both have 5f7 electrons, and it is not like 5f7 for americium and curium 5f8. That is what it expected, but as we all know that fully filled and half filled orbitals are stable. Curium has the configuration of 5f7 and one more electron has been shifted to 6d. So that is why it has 5f7, 6d1. So all this electronic configuration or outer electronic configuration. And by this we can also see the oxidation states of these actinide series. Though the dominant oxidation state is +3, till the middle of the series we can see the oxidation state increases from +3 to +7, and then again it decreases to lawrencium. So the variable oxidation states increases till the middle, and lesser oxidation states are seen down the series. Here the oxidation states of the actinide elements alone has been summarized. So we can see that actinium has oxidation state of 3, thorium has 4, but protactinium has 3, 4, 5. So it has got 3 variable oxidation states, and uranium has 4 oxidation states. Neptunium can exist in 5 oxidation states, plutonium again in 5. But when we look on americium, it has a 5 oxidation state, but the least one of it is +2. So this +2 oxidation state is not in the elements of actinium to plutonium. Curium, berkelium, californium, einsteinium, fermium, mendelium and nobelium, all these have oxidation states of only 3 and 4, predominantly 3. So we can see that the dominant oxidation state of prevailing oxidation state of all these actinide elements is +3. And we know very well that how this +3 is obtained by just losing the S2 electrons and the F electrons or the D electrons. Thorium and other elements have +4 oxidation state. So if they have +4 oxidation state, they would resemble hafnium or cerium in +4 oxidation state. So the complexes that have a +4 oxidation state of thorium will resemble the complexes of cerium 4. Also, protactinium and other elements have +5. So when it exists in +5, they will resemble like the tantalum of tantalum also in the +5 oxidation state. Some elements like uranium, neptunium, plutonium exhibit both +5 as well as +6 oxidation state. So they will not resemble like other elements, other ions in the +5 or +6 oxidation state, but they will show an unusual behavior of forming MO2 ions, that is the oxide ions in the positive univalent and the divalent ions respectively. Now in this table we are seeing the atomic radii and ionic radii of actinides. Unlike in lanthanides, when we see the atomic radii of these actinides, there is no steady decrease from actinium to lawrencium. There is a slight variation. So there is not a gradual decrease from actinium to lawrencium in the atomic radii. So this is an unusual compared to that of the lanthanides, whereas in lanthanides there is a very steady decrease from the lanthanum to lutetium. But when we see the ionic radius of these actinides, there is a steady decrease from actinium to lawrencium and there is no variation at all. So the decrease is very gradual and it is constant. So there is no variation at all whether the ions exist as M3+ or M4+. So actinides in the +4 oxidation state also, in +3 oxidation state also, we can see the decrease in the ionic radius. So this steady decrease in ionic radius as the atomic number increased by 1 at each step in the actinide series is called as the actinide contraction. So this contraction is the same like that of the lanthanide series. There we have seen it as lanthanide contraction and here we have seen as actinide contraction. So now we know very well that why there is a decrease in the ionic radius from actinium to lawrencium. So one reason is that the atomic number increases, and as the atomic number increases, the electrons are added up into the 5 shell. One reason. Number 2, there is increase in the effective nuclear charge. The protons are also increasing at each stage as the electron increases. So the nuclear charge also is increasing. Now it becomes very much effective because there is less screening effect by the 5f electrons. So as the nuclear charge is very much effective over the 5f electron because of the less screening effect, we are seeing this contraction. So this is called as actinide contraction. Now after seeing the actinide contraction, now we will look on to the properties of actinides. These actinides are definitely metals. Okay, all the transition elements are metals and the inner transition elements are also metals. They are mostly silver in color and they tarnish when they are exposed to air. Most of them get tarnished when exposed to air. So but as such they look silver in color or at least white in color. And they are heavier metals. Of all the elements in the periodic tables, when we compare these elements, these actinides are heavier because of the mass number. They are denser also. So mass number represents the number of protons and electrons. Not only that, but the weight of it, isn't it? So it is a heavier. These actinides are heavier, which means they are denser elements and they are radioactive. So all the radioactive elements belong to F block, we can say. So these actinides are radioactive elements. So we know that nuclear fuel are taken from the actinide series fund, uranium, plutonium or radioactive elements, and they are taken taken as a fuel for the nuclear reactors because of the radioactive property. And when we say the ionization energy, they have very low ionization energy, and because of this they are highly electropositive. Now when we say they have a low ionization energy, it means they can lose up the electrons easily. So when they lose up the electrons, they become highly electropositive. And compared to lanthanides, they are highly electropositive. So they are reactive and form hydrides in hot water. They form hydrides. They are easily attacked by acids also, because as we said now, they have a low ionization energy, highly electropositive. They can very well react with the acids. Coming to the solubility, the fluorides or hydroxides and oxalates of actinides have low solubility. Talking about the absorption spectra, similar to that of the lanthanides, the transition of electrons within the 5F levels contribute to the absorption peaks. Okay, so when there is an electronic transition that happens within the 5F levels, we see the absorption peaks in the electronic absorption spectra, of course. And this, in the intensity of these peaks are very much intenser. The absorption is intense than that of the lanthanides. About 10 times it is higher. The intensity is 10 times higher than the lanthanides. And these electronic transition spectra consist of narrow bands. So it is somewhat like a complex. The absorption spectra, when we analyze the absorption spectra of these actinides, it is little complex, and most of them are, and this can be attributed of course with respect to the transition of electrons within the 5F levels, but still because of the narrow bonds it looks a little complicated. And when we come to the magnetic property of these actinides, of course perhaps they are like lanthanides, they are paramagnetic in nature. But when we compare to the calculated magnetic moment with that of the observed magnetic moment, the observed magnetic moment is lesser. So we calculate the magnetic moment by the Russell-Saunders coupling calculations, and when we match that with the observed magnetic moment, the calculated one is higher. Okay, so this difference, this variation is maybe because of the bonding of 5F orbitals with the ligands. So we are seeing this magnetic property mostly in the complex molecules, and when we see complex, that is the coordinated molecules, we have ligands, and the ligands have bonding with the 5F orbital electrons. So okay, because of this kind of a bonding and interaction, the ligands influence this, and there is a decrease in the magnetic moment of the complex. And also these actinides are colored. We will see the colors of these actinides in the next one. The table shows the color of the ions and how to prepare those colored ions and the stability of it. So first ion, if we take uranium 3 plus, it is red brown in color, and how to obtain that is by treating uranium dioxide with sodium or zinc metal in mercury. And the stability is like, if we slowly oxidize it by by water, rapidly by air, it gets transformed to uranium 4 plus. So uranium 3 plus gets oxidized to uranium 4 plus. When we oxidize in presence of water, it gets turned to uranium 4 plus. So if we don't do this, it will remain as a uranium 3 plus. Neptunium 3 plus is purplish in color and it is stable in water, but it will be oxidized by air to neptunium 4 plus. So if we need neptunium 4 plus, we can take neptunium 3 plus and oxidize it in the air. Okay, likewise all these ions colors are listed out, the preparation of those ions and the stability, corresponding stability, the next oxidation state is also being given here. Now we will see the chemical properties of actinide. So far we have seen the physical properties, the solubility, the color, the magnetic property, all those we have seen. Now we will see the chemical properties. Now actinides form complexes in aqueous solutions. Okay, when we say complexes, it means coordination complex. So there will be a ligand also present in it, and the whole complexes can be a neutral one, or can be in cationic complexes or an ionic complexes. So these complexes were isolated and further studied to know about the structure of it, to know the oxidation states, to know the magnetic property, and for various reasons these complexes were isolated and studied. These actinides also form numerous organometallic compounds. In our lower classes we have seen organometallic compound represented as RMgX. R is an alkyl or an aryl group, Mg is the magnesium, and X is the halide. That's what we have seen in our lower classes. Likewise, these actinides can form the organometallic compound. So instead of Mg, we are going to have an actinide element. Okay, and the halide can be a chloride or anything else. So these types will be adducts of halides, like the type MCl4L2, where L represents the ligand. So this ligand will be an oxygen donor ligand. So that is what we call here as adducts of halides with ligand as the oxygen donor ligand. Also it can form salts of halogeno or oxyhalogeno anions. Then next is chelate complexes of oxoligands. Chelate complexes of oxoligands also these actinides can form. Some examples are given here. First one is with respect to thorium. Thorium tetraoxalato DMSO. So DMSO is an organic one. The ligand oxalate is also here. So this is a coordination complex. The next complex is with respect to uranium, and SaL2 is the salicyl halide. Next one is with the neptunium complex, and TRIOP is the tropamine, which is an amino acid. So these are the few examples of complexes of actinide. And some familiar organometallic complexes are which were studied again are cyclopentadienyls, cyclooctatetraenyls, alkyls and aryls. Complexes of these types are also studied. So these all form the organic part, and the metallic part again is one of the actinide element. They form complexes readily than lanthanides because of the smaller size and high nuclear charge. So because of these two reasons, the smaller size and the high nuclear charge, they very well form complexes compared to that of the lanthanide groups. Here again we see a table that shows the oxidation states, the corresponding coordination number and geometry of the complex. So if when an actinide element form a complex, if the oxidation state is +3, the coordination number will be 5, 6, 8 or 9, and the respective geometry is also been listed out here. So what do we mean by coordination number? The number of the ligands, the number of the it represents the valency of that metal. Okay, so those examples are also given in the next column. So likewise for +4 oxidation state, +5, +6 oxidation state, the respective coordination numbers and their geometry also listed with the good examples. So this table is again taken from the textbook Advanced Inorganic Chemistry by F.A. Cotton and Wilkinson. We have come to the end of this video lecture on properties and contraction of actinides. To summarize, we have seen here the contraction of actinides, how actinides contract, what are the reasons in the contraction of the ionic radius. Also, we have seen the properties of actinides in detail, the physical properties pertaining to the appearance, the density, solubility. Also, importantly, we have seen the spectral properties and magnetic properties of actinides. The next part of the property is a chemical property, and we have focused on the complex nature of the actinides, how the organic metallic compounds are formed and the examples in it. So this is where we end this lecture on the properties and contraction of actinides. The references again are importantly from F.A. Cotton and Wilkinson, Advanced Inorganic Chemistry. In our next video lecture, we will see a comparison study on lanthanides and actinides. How are they different and in what reasons they are all similar. We will see it in the next video lecture. Thank you.